Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are diving headfirst into some absolutely fascinating and frankly crucial new 2026 science on infant formula fats. We're talking about research that's literally rewriting the rulebook on early nutrition. We're going to break down these complex studies so you know exactly what's actually going into your baby's bottle and, more importantly, what it means for their health. But before we really get going, I want you to ask yourself a pretty profound question. Are the ingredients in your baby's formula acting as building blocks, or are they secretly acting as hurdles? Are they helping them grow or holding them back? You know, we constantly obsess over vitamins and protein, right? But today, we are shining a massive spotlight on the fats. Are they supporting optimal development or quietly stressing out a brand new developing system? So here is our roadmap for today. First, the hidden formula fats. Then, calcium soaps and gut health. After that, the liver-fat connection, followed by the eczema breakthrough, and finally, safe alternatives in Egypt. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The hidden formula fats. It's time to look past the marketing on the front label and really uncover the reality of the industrial fats lurking in standard infant formulas. Think about this for a second. 50%, half of a baby's total caloric intake, comes strictly from fat. That is huge. And it's not just for packing on cute baby weight. This provides the literal building materials for their rapidly growing brain and nervous system. Because the volume is just so incredibly high, the quality of that fat absolutely dictates their biological foundation. Which brings us to a really stark contrast. On one hand, you have breast milk, the biological gold standard, perfectly balanced with natural cholesterol and a flawless harmony of omega-3s and 6s. On the other hand, you have commercial formulas. Get this, 90% of global commercial formulas rely on cheap industrial vegetable oils. We're talking soybean, sunflower, and cheap palm Olein. These are packed with omega-6s and are super prone to oxidation, meaning they easily break down into inflammatory compounds. It's just a completely different chemical setup. Section 2, calcium soaps and gut health. Now let's move down to the digestive tract and see what actually happens when these highly processed fats hit your baby's gut. Okay, this is where things get pretty wild. Cheap palm Olein literally turns into a soap-like substance in the gut. Seriously, soap. Because the palmitic acid in palm oil isn't structured the same way it is in human milk, a baby's digestive system just can't break it down properly. Instead, it acts like a magnet, grabbing onto vital calcium to form this insoluble, unabsorbed mass. And this calcium soap reaction, it triggers a massive domino effect of distress. Because the calcium is locked away, bone density actually decreases. The soapy mass itself causes hard stools, severe constipation, and colic. On top of that, the sheer volume of omega-6 from those seed oils creates this inflammatory seesaw effect. Research shows it can totally disrupt the gut barrier, leading to what we know as leaky gut dysfunction. Section 3, the liver-fat connection. The damage doesn't just stay in the intestines, though. We've got to look deeper at the metabolic engines of the body to see the full picture. So how exactly does this fat blend impact a developing liver? Well, a groundbreaking 2026 study out of Virginia Tech asked that exact question. Until very recently, we really didn't fully understand how swapping natural mammalian fats for plant-based oils altered internal metabolic organs. Led by Dr. Samer El-Khadi, this neonatal pig model proved something startling. And if you're wondering, why pigs? It's because a newborn piglet's digestive and metabolic systems are incredibly similar to a human infant's. By testing formulas that were completely identical in calories and protein, they found that common plant oils, specifically coconut and seed oils, literally induced early fatty liver symptoms and metabolic stress. Meanwhile, the natural animal fats function beautifully, matching the healthy, normal absorption rates seen with human milk. Section 4, the eczema breakthrough. Next, let's transition from internal metabolic stress to how this shows up on the outside, specifically on a baby's skin as atopic dermatitis, or eczema. Professor Koletzko really hits the nail on the head here. Eczema is definitely not just a minor rash. It's a chronic burden that messes with a baby's sleep, their development, their overall quality of life. Plus, it's often the starting line for the atopic march, that rough progression toward food allergies, asthma, and lifelong immune challenges. Finding a way to prevent it through diet is basically the holy grail of pediatric nutrition. Now take a look at this number, 64%. What's so amazing about this is that it represents an absolute game changer of a drop in eczema risk. Imagine being able to cut the risk of a chronic, life-altering condition by more than half simply by changing the composition of their bottle.
So here's the science behind that number. The massive 2026 giraffe study looked at over 2,000 infants across Europe. They discovered that in babies with a family history of eczema, feeding them a whole goat milk formula, which keeps 50% of the natural goat milk fat and completely avoids adding extra allergenic whey proteins, prevented a staggering 6 out of 10 cases compared to standard formula. It just goes to show that keeping natural whole milk fats instead of stripping them out for refined seed oils has an unbelievably protective effect on the immune system.
Section 5. Safe Alternatives in Egypt. So how do we practically apply this incredible 2026 science? All this biochemistry is fascinating, sure, but as a caregiver, you need to know exactly what to look for on the shelves if you're navigating the market in Egypt today. Well, here is a quick market guide that breaks down the safest alternatives in Egyptian pharmacies. If you want to totally dodge those nasty calcium soaps we talked about earlier, brands like Aptamil Advance, Bebelac Junior 3, and Similac Gold are completely 100% palm oil free. Taking it a step closer to physiological natural fats, Primalac Ultima uses pure natural milk fat. And then you have your premium options like Kendamil, which rely entirely on whole mammalian milk, either cow or goat. And a massive bonus here, by avoiding seed oils altogether, these premium brands also eliminate any risk of hexane. That's a harsh industrial chemical solvent sometimes used to extract cheap oils, and definitely not something you want anywhere near a baby. We've seen exactly how standard industrial fats can disrupt gut health, stress out the liver, and negatively influence immune responses. The 2026 science gives us a very clear blueprint moving forward. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If simply changing the type of fat in a bottle can prevent lifelong allergies and metabolic stress, what other secrets to our lifelong health are hiding right in plain sight on the supermarket shelf? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.